And you're welcome back. Our next guest is best known for starring roles in Cold Feet and hit Netflix show White Lines. But this month, he's launching a new podcast that's very close to his heart.
As an avid environmentalist and keen wildlife fan, he's now chatting about the future of our planet with an array of famous faces in his new podcast, Call of the Wild, enlisting the iconic Sir David Attenborough for that first episode.
That's a way to start. Yeah. Actor and broadcaster Kel Spellman joins us on the line. But first, Kel, we're going to remind all our viewers of your screen acting talents way back when in Cold Feet.
Hand relief. How is that funny?
The woman I made it about laughed.
She was probably being polite.
Yeah, but what about the other women? The younger ones? Bet they were uncomfortable, but felt they couldn't say anything, just had to suffer in silence.
Well, I'm not Harvey Weinstein.
No one's saying you are, but they have a point.
You're on their side.
It's not about sides.
It's about changing attitudes. Look, I bet when you were younger, your parents made jokes that you found offensive.
I can think of a few.
Like what?
Don't like to say.
Exactly, because times change.
And if you don't change with them...
You turn into your parents.
Well, there you go. So, Kel, good morning. Thanks for joining us, brother. Good to see you.
Nah, my pleasure. Appreciate you having me on, gents.
Listen,
how are you?
We're all good. That's you doing what you do best, doing your day job. But you're on to talk about a new podcast you're doing that tackles issues that have been important to you since you were a young teenager. I mean, I read the notes that you were 15 when you first emailed WWF asking, what can I do to help?
Yeah, it's always been a real love and passion of mine, to be honest with you. Right from when I was a kid, you know, I was one of those that had an adoption pack all through kind of my young years. And the older that I got, I guess kind of as your awareness grows and understanding of the natural world, I more and more felt compelled to want to do something about it. I think it was that, or feel quite overwhelmed and bury my head in the sand. And I was on Children's BBC at the time. So I thought, I'll send them a message and say, look, I'm not a big name. I know you've got a lot of high profile supporters, but I've got an in with young people. So if there's ever anything I can help and support in their work in that space, I'd love to help. And 10 years later, here we are, and we've got a podcast coming out. It's really quite amazing, to be honest. And
you're also an ambassador as well for the WWF. So you decide to do a podcast, and then you say to yourself, well, I need a guest. Yeah. Who was on your hit list?
Yeah, there was quite a few, but there was only ever going to be one, I think, that we knew was very ambitious, but we thought we have to at least entertain and ask the question. And I think we were quite fortunate that he's also a WWF ambassador, Sir David Attenborough. So we had an in, so to speak. But I keep feeling now that we might have peaked too soon. It's only downhill for the guests from now on. Do you know what I mean?
But what was that like sitting with the man himself? I mean, he is, when it comes to environmental issues, when it comes to issues about our planet, about sustainability, about the way we live, about the future of our planet, he is the go-to man. So for you to sit down and have an audience with him and get a chance to pick his brains, what was it like? It
was, I don't think I can quite actually, summarise it perfectly in words how it was. It really was one of those kind of bucket list moments, dream come true. And I think we were just chatting before, but I'd say when I listen back to the podcast, my vocal register goes up and down like a yo-yo through the start and the end of the interview. But he genuinely is everything you want him to be and more. And they say, that cliche, don't meet your heroes. He absolutely was one that you should meet. He's so impressive, and it was, I still find it quite surreal now that it's happened. Even seeing the artwork, I'm like, no way has that happened.
Yeah, well, it's an absolutely terrific start, and no doubt you've set the bar very high, but I'm sure there'll be many more great guests to come. Before we talk about your acting work, it is great how busy you are with all aspects of your life and your passion for the environment, and that extends to work as well that you do with Great Ormond Street Hospital. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, as a whole, really, I've always, thought we've all got a voice, I guess, but I've always wanted to try and use the voice I do have on my platform to talk about things that are important to me and shine a light on those issues or places that are doing good as well. And Great Ormond Street is one of them. I think I've been working with them now for around 6-7 years, and regularly, kind of before obviously we were in where we're at now, would go and do some ward visits and present and host some of the shows and activities that they do for families. And you just can't help but be so grateful that they exist for not just the children that are there, but the families as well. It really is an incredible place. I call it the crown jewel in our NHS over here, Great Ormond Street, because they're that special. But I'm really kind of quite proud and love all the charity work that I'm involved
It's an incredible place, and the work they do is incredible. And we have the equivalent here in Ireland with our children's hospitals. They're incredible people. Let's talk about your day job. We saw obviously earlier on the clip of you in Cold Feet. Tell us about filming Cold Feet, because that is one of the most iconic TV shows of now 2 generations. What was it like to be part of it, and of course working with our old pal Jimmy Nesbitt?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy is one of the best. And I think for me at the time, because I think I was just turned 18 maybe when we did that first series back, roughly 18, 19. So I think to be making that transition from teen into your early 20s, to have someone like Jimmy as almost a bit of a guide, really, you know, a mentor, was a young actor's and a young person's dream, because he really is one of the best.
How soon, Kel, into filming that, did you discover that he's a big United fan and you're a big City fan?
Do you know what's funny? I was very aware before the audition. We had a chemistry read, and the director mentioned it and went, "Have you told Jimmy who you support?" And I was like, "Well, brilliant, I've lost the job."
Yeah, I've lost it.
If anything, it might have helped if there was friction between the father-son relationship.
Exactly,
you could have channeled the footballing rivalry perhaps into your character.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of that. The thing was though, during that time, and I know people won't want to hear this, but City were very much on top, so I was kind of very happy going into work each day. And it was Jimmy that was kind of like, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm with Jimmy. Let's not dwell on that.
Now, also in that show, of course, you start opposite Daisy Edgar-Jones, who everyone's been talking about, certainly not just here in Ireland, but around the world since her performance in Normal People. Knowing her from such a young age, I know you became good friends. You must be very proud of her.
Super proud, super proud. And I don't just say this. Genuinely, Daisy is one of the best people it could have happened to. You know, I've kind of been doing this for a little bit now, and you just come across those people who are really good, soulful eggs, and Daisy's one of them, and she deserves everything and more. I think always just felt like a matter of time with Daisy, because she was that good and was that nice of a person. You think it's only going to go one way, but the manner in which it happened and so quick was just astounding, really, and deserved though, because the series and both her and Paul in the show are just mesmeric, to be honest.
So what's been happening for you in terms of the day job over the last 12 months, obviously with the situation that we're in now, but in terms of filming and work, what's the last 12 months been like for you?
Yeah, it's been tough, you know, but it's one of those as well. I know that there are a lot of people out there who will have had it tougher and really struggled. I've been very fortunate that I was at home with my family, and actually throughout I've been managing to keep busy with a few bits and bobs of work. We did a big kind of educational push here in the UK through BBC Bite Size. So I was kind of working through that through the first lockdown. I was doing the radio as well. So I was able to keep busy. But as far as the acting and the arts, as it has done everywhere, it's taken a massive, massive hit. It's been crippling for the industry, and it's started to ease its way back. But now, you know, I think people are still getting the lay of the land, and there's a lot of date clashes and still things moving here and there. So it's coming slowly but surely. But yeah, it's taken a massive hit, and you've just got to hope that we can come out the other side of it. But it is a resilient industry, and it has been through the years.
We will bounce back. Well, listen, as we say over here, my son, for the City fan, you're all right, kid.
Hey, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yes, enjoy your march to winning the title. It's been lovely chatting with you, Ken.
Great chatting to you, pal.
People can see your work in White Lines as well, which is on Netflix, which we didn't get a chance to talk to, but which is absolutely brilliant. And we'll mention the podcast now. Kel, take care, pal.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. Honestly, I'm buzzing. Cheers.
We're buzzing too. Simon, not so much as a United fan. OK, Kel's podcast, Call of the Wild, is available on Apple, Spotify, and, of course, all good podcast providers.
Now, up next, we're back at Catwalk. We have more spring styles after this quick break.